You have a problem with authority. You believe that you are special, that somehow the rules do not apply to you.
At 5 years old, I wanted to be an architect.
Because architect is real interesting. Most people, I want to be in the NFL or I want to be, you know how it is.
As a child, I was introduced to Imhotep.
Okay.
And Imhotep was a Renaissance man and a multi-genius. And one of the things that he did was construct the step pyramid. And so he was an architect. And so when we talk about aspirations, it was always impressed upon me to aspire to my greater nature, right? I'm not looking to aspire to be a ball player or a rapper. I'm looking to aspire to be someone of significance, someone who, is great.
At 12, I learned that psychiatrists made a little bit more money. And so I became entertained by the idea of having someone sit on a couch and ask me for my advice.
What did you want to do when you were growing up?
I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I wanted to be a psychiatrist for as long as I can remember, and my thought process at the time was I wanted to help people. And then I recently, and when I say recently, I mean within the last 10 years or so, realized that I can help people without being a psychiatrist. Somewhere between 12 and 15, I decided I wanted to be poor. I aspired to be poor. I thought that I wanted to have Section 8 housing because that's what I knew. I thought that I wanted to have food stamps because that's what I knew. There was a period of time where I became conscious of what the household finances looked like. And in that consciousness, I knew that we had Section 8, we had food stamps. So I thought when I turned 25, I want Section 8, I want food stamps. And it wasn't until I started working in a grocery store and I saw somebody come through my register and pay for a cart full of groceries with cash that I started to think, well, how can this person afford to pay for groceries with cash without food stamps? I remember emptying a cart of groceries onto the conveyor belt at our local supermarket and having our food stamps card decline. And that triggered in me a desire and a passion to learn about finance and to learn about financial literacy and educate myself and others about financial literacy. When I say that I wanted to be poor, what I really mean is that I wanted to survive. I remember coming home from school some days and ripping an eviction notice off the front door of our apartment. I remember washing by hand clothes the night before school in the bathroom sink with dish detergent because we couldn't afford to go to a laundromat or buy laundry detergent. I remember hanging those clothes up to dry on a shower rod, and sometimes the next morning, I would have to wear the damp clothes to school. In 2011, I started a career in financial services. On my journey, I started down the path of entrepreneurship, where I encountered many financial professionals who would join my team and position me for success. So when I talk to people, a lot of times there are people who are in poverty mindset, and I like to focus on the mindset aspect of it. They can see that, okay, he used to be here and now he's there.
That's right.
And so it's kind of eliminating this idea of what is impossible. And so that message really resonates with that audience.
That's
because
right.
They see my growth as I kind of outline it. I talk about where I grew up, I talk about how I grew up, what I aspired for financially versus what I've acquired. And the light bulbs go off, especially in young people where they're like, okay, I don't have to wait until I'm mid-30s, 40s to start doing things like purchasing property or investing in the stock market. Through my experience, I decided to create platforms to share what it is that I know. Through writing, through talks like this one. Each one, teach one. Each one, reach one. If you know, teach. If you don't know, learn. Going out and educating myself in the process, right? Learning about real estate, learning about bank products, learning about credit, how to leverage credit, how to build a business. And then through that process, it started off really selfishly, and then I was like, wait, I realized I was poor and I don't ever want to be poor again. But then it turned into kind of a responsibility or a charge, and then I realized a lot of people don't have the same kind of education or these opportunities, right? So I said, let me go out and share what I know with other people. Most recently, I helped co-found an organization that focuses on ending homelessness. One area in particular that we focus on is financial education. I make it a point to reach back, but also making people know like this stuff is possible. Somebody can see themselves in me, and see themselves in my accomplishments, and then say, hey, you know what, if he could do it, I can do it. You are in a position of knowledge, particularly around personal finance. Have that conversation with your neighbor, your peers, your family. This is a conversation that should be had at every dinner table, in every classroom, over the course of every holiday. Share what it is that you know, and if you don't know, learn. It's possible that you set your mind to. And I know that sounds very cliche, and people say it all the time. And so I will follow that statement up by saying that nothing is going to happen by accident or because you really want it to happen. You have to work towards that. You have to set a goal. You have to have a plan, and you have to adhere to that.